when this is done, they're going to say, good God, we're going to get one of these three. And the result is going to be, I think, a weak plurality president,
that's the point. That's the point.
Sam, what do you think?
The president's polls aren't surging. He's not surging. What's happening is all these people out there have decided they didn't want to vote for George Bush, have now looked at another alternative, Ross Perot. So it's not just Governor not Bush who now gets the nod. It's Governor not Bush and billionaire not Bush, and at the moment it's a little junked up. But I agree with George. At the end of the day, people are going to remember that Ross Perot is the guy who puts private eyes on everybody, looks into his own employees' business, doesn't allow him to wear facial hair. It's that kind of man. And let me just tell you something. He told Leslie Saul of CBS and the Boston newspaper that the reason he didn't enter the race last July was that someone had told him that the Bush campaign was going to have a dirty trick played on his daughter by doctoring a picture. And so what? He decided he wouldn't make the race? He wouldn't fight back? He turned and ran because someone told him?
That's the thing, is the arrogance of not campaigning. I mean, what people forget about political campaigns, those who have not had the joy of traipsing around factories with candidates or into daycare centers or old age homes and all the rest of it, is that political campaigns are learning experiences for the candidates.
Bob, is it too late for George Bush to turn it around?
I didn't really think it was too late until this last week. But the president's performance in the second debate was so miserable. And the answer to that question, when he could have come out with a forward policy, he was so defensive. He looks like he is defeated. He looks like a beaten dog. And when he comes out yesterday in New Jersey and he starts yelling at demonstrators, calling them draft dodgers, that indicates it's all over. I'll tell you something else. With the exception of Mary Madeline, and I can name 2 or 3 others, all the rats are leaving the sinking ship because they were never
You're not
really
referring to Mary as a rat, of course.
No. I mean, there's a lot of disloyalty.
I hate to agree with Bob, but it looks to me like you're down to your base, namely those people who've gotten handwritten notes from George Bush.
Wrong, wrong. We're going to win. This election is about choice, because this election is about choice, and the polls have been reflecting people's anxiety about change. And when they clearly focus on the choice and they think about who they want sitting in that Oval Office making choices for them, we're going to win. The other night in the debate, made-for-TV candidate Bill Clinton put Geraldo to shame, but we won on the issues. We won on taxes, we won on crime, we won on health care, we won on legal reform, term limits. That's what people care about. They're going to make a choice, and they're going to vote for a low-tax, low-spend, limited government candidate, and that's George Bush.
Does this ad that you just saw, D'Amato's ad, appeal to any sector of New York State? The answer is upstate. Upstate,
yes,
why?
The Goo-Goos.
Because he's portrayed as too liberal and too political.
But no, just a second. It was an integrity ad. It's a lacking integrity ad, which is exactly what Abrams is using against D'Amato. I mean, this is a mud fight between 2 old-line pals. The fact is that Abrams is only leading by a little bit, far less than Clinton is leading. Right. If he wins, he's going to win because Clinton's going to win the state big. And the key thing is that D'Amato has $3.5 million to dump in the end game, and Abrams only has 100,000.
You know, you didn't run the best ad that D'Amato actually has. It's the one where he attacks Abrams as hopelessly liberal. Very good ad.
Exit
and Mort's
question.
right, it's very close.
Who's going to win the New York race, Abrams or D'Amato? The Republican D'Amato or the Democrat Abrams? I ask you.
I never bet against Big Al.
Big Al will win. What do you say?
I think Abrams is going to win on the strength of Clinton carrying the state. But these commercials ought to come in plain brown wrappers. They're both so slimy. They're disgusting.
I'll tell you why that's not going to be true in Clinton's case, because he has no special appeal with the blacks, and the blacks are needed by Abrams to win.
You're saying Clinton has no special appeal?
No, he's not going to elicit a big turnout. Am I right or wrong?
You're wrong.
You think that the Clinton is going to pull out the black vote in New York?
Much better than Dukakis did. You just wait and see.
So what? That's not big enough to
that means a lot. That means a lot. Dukakis could have done a lot more states. Ask me the question you asked them. Come on now.
Who's going to win?
Abrams, because New York has got more Eleanor Cliffs than it does Fred Barnes.
Abrams or D'Amato?
Abrams.
The answer is D'Amato. He's got the big bucks.